Jax could not sleep. He kept thinking about planets they had not found yet, and possible dangers in space. He got out of bed and went to the window. He looked at the twinkling stars. One star, RX-218, caught his attention. Jax realized RX-218 was flickering strangely, getting brighter and darker. He quickly contacted his friend Norp, who worked in the astrophysics lab. Norp said the star was behaving oddly too. They decided a planet near RX-218 must be causing problems. Jax and Norp knew they must go to planet RX-2218 quickly. But the exploration program was cancelled by Director Zent. Their research ships were locked away. Late at night, Jax and Norp snuck into the spaceport. They hid behind some crates inside a warehouse. Soon, a guard walked by on patrol. When he passed, they quietly ran to a research ship called Explorer 1. The ship's ramp was locked shut. Norp hurried to a control panel and tried hacking the code. On his third try, the ramp opened with a hiss. They ran inside just as the guard's footsteps returned. "That was close," Jax whispered. Inside, they raced to the control room. Norp started the engines, while Jax programmed the coordinates for RX-218. The ship began rumbling as it prepared for spaceflight. The guard outside heard the noise and triggered an alarm. "Hurry, Norp!" Jax shouted. Just then, Explorer 1 lifted off the ground. They flew up as the spaceport hangar doors slowly opened overhead. With a blast of speed, they shot into space past the closing doors. Norp cheered, "We made it!" as Zenus disappeared behind them. Jax smiled with relief. Their secret space mission had just begun. They hoped it was not too late to save that desperate planet orbiting RX-218. The RX-218 star had 3 rocky planets orbiting it. Only the middle planet, RX-218b, could support life. This planet used to have big alien cities and green forests. But then disasters happened when the core cooled. Now the skies of RX-218b were black with wild storms. Earthquakes split the ground, swallowing parts of cities. The inhabitants hurried to get on evacuation ships as fire meteors fell around them. At the spaceports, thousands of scared aliens pushed to get on the last ships left. They took bags of their belongings, not knowing if they would see home again. Kids cried as families held each other, terrified and sad. More and more aliens crammed onto the ships past full. Some got trampled in the chaos. Others ran to smaller spaceports but found them empty. As time ran out, the evacuation turned to complete panic. The last ships sped up to leave before it was too late. Some aliens got left behind on the launch pads. The abandoned inhabitants looked up crying as the tiny evacuation ships disappeared into the sky. Their planet and lives were ending. They felt totally helpless. It seemed nothing could save them now. Jack studied the data about RX-218's core problem. He had another idea to save the planet. What if they used powerful gravity beams from the ship to counteract the destabilizing core? This could rebalance the planet until repairs were finished. Norp thought this was brilliant. They flew their ship low over the largest city and fired steady gravity beams deep into the core. The tremors started easing as the core slowly stabilized. With RX-218 now temporarily balanced, Jax and Norp had time to evacuate everyone onto their ship. After the evacuation, Norp used the ship's scanner to analyze the core. He developed a plan to restart the core's nuclear reactions and permanently restore its heat. Jax assisted with the repairs. On the ship, the adults helped care for the injured. They used medical tools and scanners calmly and carefully. The adults were very focused on mending the wounded. The children were very shy and stayed close to their parents. They peeked around the adults' legs at Jax and Norp with curiosity. Some held toys or blankets to feel safe. After the planet was saved and the sandstorm subsided, the planet's inhabitants were able to return home. Their huge eyes expressed the joy of finding their home again. Zax and Norp had become living legends throughout the surrounding galaxy. After the rescue, the planet Jax and Norp flew back to Zenus. As their ship approached, they saw the green hills and sunny skies of home. When the ship landed, their families rushed to hug them tight. Jax picked up his little sister and spun her around, so happy to be back. The weather was perfect that day, warm sunshine with a cool breeze. After months in space, it felt amazing to be outside on their beautiful planet. But there was to be a government trial the next day. "You went on an illegal trip," the officials shouted. You stole a ship and broke our rules. Jax and Norp had a trial for their actions. In court, Norp said, "We had to save the planet RX-218 from disaster." Jax said, "Their core was failing. We stopped it and rescued many people." The government lawyers said, "But you broke orders. You must be punished." The judge asked, "Do you regret helping that planet?" "Never," said Jax. "We would do it again to save lives." After hearing both sides, the judge said, "You are not guilty. You followed your conscience to do good." People in the court cheered. Jax and Norp were heroes. The officials learned to allow exploration to help others. Now that Jax and Norp proved the importance of exploration, the government brought back the space program. Jax and Norp were made leaders of the new Galactic Discovery Organization. They got to continue searching for new planets and life. At the opening ceremony, Jax said, "We'll keep learning about our amazing universe," Norp added, "and helping others across the galaxies." Their families cheered proudly.
To not miss the next lessons, subscribe to the channel and give it a like.